Hey crafters, it's me Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and thank you for joining me for another tutorial. This is going to be a really fun one. I created a free template for you, so if you don't already have that, you're going to want to go to the store and get that. qualitycrafts.com, click store in the upper right hand corner and look under digital downloads. It's super easy to find. And this is what the card looks like that we're creating today, and it's got a slider in it. So you can put photos in here or anything that you want. It's really fun. Hi, Aleene. So, if you're watching this archived, you can skip through all the chatter in the beginning if you want. I always talk to the members of my community that come in for the live chat, and I know that you cannot see the live chat after that video is archived. So, if you need to skip over that, you can do that now and jump to the project. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for more people to get in. So, I always start a little bit early, and I typically wait for people to come in because there's a lag in YouTube, and we might want to make sure everyone has time to get in to see the full project and doesn't miss the beginning. The beginning is typically the most important part. And while we're waiting, I just want to mention that we've got moderators in the room, so if their name comes up in blue, you'll know who they are. Hi, Michelle. She comes to us from Texas. Thanks for being here. Lisa Ann, Nina, and Lynn. Thank you guys for joining us. I want to invite everybody to come over to Quality Crafts on Facebook. It's a non-commitment, drama-free group where there's no participation police. So even if you don't have the time or I don't want to say the courage, but you know, sometimes we're on a different journey and we just aren't ready to share our work. There's no participation police. So if you don't join in on the swaps or whatever, nobody's going to kick you out. Everyone is welcome. We'd love to have you over there. Do make sure that when you click on that and request to join the group, immediately there will be 3 questions that pop up. You must answer those to get in the group quickly. So just remember that. Hi, Sandy and Cynthia. Wow, morning from Australia. How cool. Monica, hello. Whew, I thought that maybe going to my workout this morning would wake me up, but I still feel like there's just this fog sitting right here. It's just nuts. I've never experienced anything quite like this. Hey, Sherry and Mildred. So glad to have you guys here. We're going to be making this really cool camera card. So if you have downloaded the template, this is what it looks like right here. And I did download mine ahead of time and make like simpler templates so that I can do some tracing and stuff. So you're going to end up with a lot of pieces once you cut all these guys out. Hi, Sarah. So this is not a new idea. By all means, if you go through YouTube, you're going to see a lot of different camera slider cards. But I just took the idea, created my own card. I literally physically cut this out myself. I added a little punched out circle for the little toggle that, you know, you'd be taking the picture. So I did create this by hand. This is my own template, and the corners are rounded with a corner rounder on either side there. And then all the pieces I cut and traced and made the template from. So I've got all the pieces here. And we're going to walk through and I'll tell you what colors to do them, and then I'll tell you what pieces you can, you know, choose your own colors by all means. Anything that you want to do to make this uniquely your own is specifically why we're here. I'm here to walk this through so that the beginners feel successful and the intermediate and the advanced feel like they've been challenged and that they've got things that they can just create off of. So, hi Orsi, bonjour. Hi Kayla Bell. Hello Pam. And Deanna. Hi guys. Thanks for taking time out on your Sunday afternoon to join me in creating something today. This is going to be really fun. We usually start at 5 minutes after the hour. So if you're new, Sunday afternoons go from 2 to 3, but I start at 2:05 to make sure everyone's got time and they don't miss the beginning. Thursday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. Same thing. I start at 6:05 so people don't miss the beginning. Archived is not as big of a deal because you can just take that toggle and just jump anywhere in the video that you want. If you are watching live though and you pause me, you can catch up to where we are live if you want to. So you can pause, rewind, watch, and rewatch as you need to. Hi Robin, Scott, and Newbie. Oh, hearts for you, Newbie. Thank you for joining us. Hi Tarita. Annie Collins, welcome. I'm really glad to have all you guys here today. We're making this really cool card. It's got a slider in it. And by all means, if you don't want yours hanging off the edge of your card like this, go ahead and just trim down. I'm going to say that again later on, but you know, you can trim and tweak and do whatever you need to this template to make it uniquely your own. That's the whole idea, is that you guys just show us what kind of artist you are. And then afterwards, I will go over to Quality Crafts, where you guys are all invited on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. I will set up an album, and the cards that you create from this, we would love to see. So you just go over to Quality Crafts, click on albums, actually click on photos, and then albums. Find this album and put it in there, but it should be up for everyone to see. Hey Jennifer Marker, thanks for being here today. Hi Tamara. Pardon me for yawning. I have not had a Diet Mountain Dew all day. I probably should have cracked one open for this video. So if you guys have time, I would greatly appreciate you going back over to the video that I popped out just before we started this live stream for the hashtag, people like to do that, hashtag comment kindness. What we're doing is we're spreading the word. I was invited by MAYMAY Made It to join in on this campaign of spreading just positivity and hope and uplifting everyone around you by making sure that your comments are always positive. If a video is not for you, if a lifestyle is not for you, if a friend's choice is not for you, it takes a lot less effort to say nothing than it does to come up with something hateful to say. So coming up with kind comments and kind words to your friends and family and everyone around you. If you want to see my video that talks a little bit more about that, I released it just before this one, so I'd really love to see you guys there. Yes, hashtag comment kindness. Spread the word. It's a really good movement. It's a really good thing to be a part of. The two other things, I want to thank my patrons today because I think I forgot to do that on Thursday's video. So the reason why I can be with you as often as I am and with the cool ideas is the fact that I have support through my Patreon page. So patreon.com/qualitycrafts. You can join me there. Here's a list of people who have already joined. I have two top tier VIP patrons, Deborah Miller and Deb Witt. So thank you ladies for being a part of this. And I also have newbies, Sharon Walton, Chelsea Hill, Aleene Floria, Kay Myers, Deanna Goldie, and Rhonda Schnacky. Everyone else that's printed in black is no less important. I just keep moving these around on here because I like to share. Eventually, if this list gets too large, then I'll share the VIPs and the newbies only. And then I'll just kind of recognize people as we go along. But thank the people that are supporting my channel, because this is how I can be here. And the other thing, I'll do the what people are saying in our community quotes at the end, because it is 2:05 and we are going to begin. Hey Linda, thanks for being here. So if you haven't already cut all these pieces out from the template, you're going to want to do that. I've already done it. Here are my pieces. Okay, I'm going to set this piece aside and we're going to walk through this together. So you're going to need a card base, which is 4 1/4 by 11. So when we fold it in half, it's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you can pick any color for your background. I've got like the paper that I used to create this, so I'm going to recreate the same thing, which is not something I always do. Sometimes I recreate it and I do it completely different. I don't know if this is going to work, but I just want to try this out for a second. It's going to like hog. Oh no, I won't be able to do it because it's too much. I was going to put down a list of supplies, but the list is so long that it's not going to go in there. So no big deal. We'll just skip that part. I'm always thinking of new ideas and things that we can do. I'm going to do this one exactly as I did the other one because it's going to be easier on me today for how I'm feeling to just put this together how it was. So we're going to take it one step at a time. The bottom layer the background can be anything you want it to be. I'm just going to go ahead and do mine lime green like I did before, or a mint green, and I'm going to cut this down about 1/4 of an inch so there's a white border. I had a little white border on my other one. So you can decide how you want your background to look. It really doesn't matter. And I actually, on this one, I did run it through the Cuttlebug too, so I had some little dots on there. I'm not going to do that today just because. So my piece for the background is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And again, this is something that you guys can do completely on your own. Because it's going to depend on what colors you pick for your card. You're not going to want to pick a mint green like mine if you've decided to make your camera maybe purple. So that's what I'm talking about. This is going to be the background for my card. I'm not going to Cuttlebug this one today, but I'm going to glue it down. And then we're going to move on to the pieces. I'm going to talk about those for a moment. The template does not include, just so you know, this little banner. I'm going to hand make that banner and restamp that again. So the template does not include that. It just includes pieces to make the actual camera and the slider. I should have probably said that right off the bat, but I hope you guys catch that on the way in. So now that we've got our background to our card, I'm just going to tuck that underneath here. We're going to start working on creating this camera. My camera is fully pink, so I just traced this on pink paper. And so that's what you're going to want to do, is decide what your pattern paper is going to look like. So this is my pattern paper that I chose. And what color your camera is going to be, so that they kind of go together. Now there's no pink in this. Well, there's little teeny tiny bits of pink. But once you put it together, I think it looks really cute. So decide whether what color your camera is going to be, a solid color most likely, and then a piece of pattern paper for the strip down the middle of the camera. Now, the strip down the middle of the camera, that was a personal preference of mine too, so that is not in the template. You're just going to cut that later on, and I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing you're going to do is pull out that camera that you've cut out and trace it on the paper that you want it to be. I'm going to flip mine over backwards. Okay, there's a trick. Flip it over backwards if you don't want your pencil marks to show, because this way I can, you know, make all the mistakes I want. But then once I flip that camera over so that it fits on this side, so that the little push button's on this side, you won't see any of that pencil mark after I cut it out. This is probably going to take us the whole hour just to trace and cut and put together this whole card, so stick with me. If you already know how to do it and you have the template and you want to go ahead and do it on your own, you can save time and jump ahead. Hey Pat, I was just thinking about you. I was going through all my wonderful fan comments and I saw one of yours a little while ago and I was wondering if you were okay. I hadn't seen you in a bit. I'm glad you're here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut this out. I didn't do all this ahead of time because I really wanted to walk you through each step, especially for those of you guys who are new to following templates or you just are unsure at the beginning of your crafty journey and you just need a little bit more help. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just cutting around this after I traced it. And this is going to be the full base for our camera, and then we're going to decorate it after that. And you can add anything you want as a decoration. If you don't like the way I've decorated my camera, you can add all oodles of bling and all kinds of crazy stuff, and gems and all. Just, you know, if you don't want to do this, you can add a gem there. You can add a gem for the little push button. Whatever you want to do. But I'm going to walk you through. It's going to turn out looking pretty much exactly like the one I've done. And that way, see, the pencil lines are all on this side. You probably can't see many of them, but on the corners you can. But when I flip it over now, because I traced it backwards, we have a clean surface to work with for our card. If you do the squares, or you have a punch for the squares, they're 1 inch by 1 inch. I'm just going to double check that. I'm almost positive they're 1 inch though. Yeah. 1 inch by 1 inch squares. So if you've got a punch that'll do these, you don't even have to use your template. You can just cut it out. Punch out 4 white squares. These are all going to be white. So if you punch these out and these are white, you can save those for later. Okay, those are all going to be just white. These 2 thin strips are about 1/4 inch. You can cut these out or not. I like the way they look on the camera, but if you want to change your camera up, you might not need these. But for my demonstration purposes today, these will also be white. So cut those out and leave them. They're white. I won't recut those. I'm just telling you, I won't have to recut those then. And we've already done this piece, so I'm going to move that out of the way. So what we're left now with are these 3 pieces that are left. And this piece is the one that goes and slides in and out. So this piece is the piece we want to be black. So pull out a piece of black, and you don't even have to trace it. Here's a tip. Just put it right into the corner. Not the whole thing anyway. You don't have to trace the whole thing. Put it right into a corner and line it up along the edge. And then take your pencil and just do the other 2 lines. And that way you'll save paper, and it'll be right against the edge of the paper that you already have, saving you a little bit of time in cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this one out. Okay, so now we've got that piece. I'm going to move this out of the way because that's the one we used. And I'm going to bring these back up. Those are ones that you should already have cut out, and those stay white. Our pink camera base, and then we've got these 2 circles left. The large circle is going to be black. And the large circle, just in case you might have a punch on hand, is a 2 inch circle. So if you have a punch that'll punch out a 2 inch circle, I would suggest using that. If you don't, then you're going to do like me, and you're just going to go ahead and trace that circle on a black piece of paper. And you're just going to cut it out as carefully as you can so it looks round. Hi, Judy. Must be a happening 4th weekend, because it seems like we have just a few less viewers. I hope that everyone's doing something super fun. Even though I'm crazy and doing videos all the time, and it seems like I'm in front of people, I'm not truly in front of people. I don't like big crowds, so we don't go to the fireworks or anything. You can see some of them from the house, and we hear tons of them from the neighborhood. I bet you guys do too. And so, yeah, we just don't do anything crazy. My mom was supposed to come, but I'm not sure if she's going to come now because she was in the hospital for a couple days. A day? I don't know. Anyway, this last little one I made gray. So let me move that back in. I did this circle gray. So you could decide if you want it gray. Maybe you want it clear. Maybe you want to use vellum. I don't know. Be creative with it. But I'm going to do mine as gray because that's what I did before. So if you're looking for the size of this circle and you have a punch and you don't want to have to trace, this one is a 1.5 inch circle. So our first one was a 2 inch circle. This one's a 1.5 inch circle. And I'm going to do the same thing. I could go get my punch, but I'm walking through making sure that there's time for the beginners that are following along to be able to get their pieces together as well. And we're going to fussy cut that circle. So I decided on gray. You guys can pick any color you want. Yeah, I think technically we're probably not supposed to have fireworks in the city either, but people do it anyway. And the park down the road does it too. So people really should be going to that one, but you know how it is. There we go. So I'm going to move that one out of the way so I know that I've got that piece done. And so the squares, again, are 1-inch squares. So if you don't have a punch, just go ahead and cut those out. And then I'm going to move some of my paper out of the way, and you're going to need one more little piece of your pattern paper to decorate the camera with. Okay, and then we're going to put the camera together. I really thought this was going to take me a lot longer than it has. So here's the one that we're aiming for. Okay, and here's the one, maybe I can bring this out a tad. Here's the one we're aiming for, here's the one we're doing right now. And so the first thing we're going to want to, oh, and by the way, this little white piece wasn't included either. I just did that on my own. So let me grab a piece of white here. If you like the look of that, having that little flash there, and I put some glitter on it, this is how you get the little flash to match the shape. Okay, put your camera, edge it up to a piece of white like this, just so that it matches exactly with the edge, and trace the shape. And then because it has to be a little bit smaller to fit in there, all we're going to do is we're going to cut a little bit on the inside of each side of this, and we're going to purposely make it just a little bit smaller using those lines as a guide. Okay, so you end up with something that looks like this, and then try it out and see how it fits. And mine fits in there just right because I traced it and just made it a little bit smaller. Okay, so that's how I got that. So if you want that piece, then we have that one. And the beep 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 that you're hearing says laundry's done, you got more work to do. Great. I love it. I love laundry. I love it like crazy. I really don't. Okay. Now we're going to decide where we want these little stripes. And I did mine just below this last little bump here. Okay, just below this last little bump. You can decide where you want yours depending on, you know, whatever you have. And then I have one at the bottom, somewhere around there. So depending on where you put your stripes, if you want to have a piece of pattern paper down the middle like I have, you're just going to take a little ruler or something that you have to measure and double check and see how wide you need that to be. Mine looks to be about 1.25 inches. So if you want perfect measurement to be similar to mine, cut yours at 1.25 inches wide, and then just run it off the edge, and then you can cut off the extra. Okay, so I'm going to cut mine at 1.25 inches. And here's what I'm talking about when I say run it over the edge. And then you're going to put it on here. Okay. Glue it on so that it runs right over the edge, and that way you can just cut it off. You don't have to worry about how wide it has to be. And I'm just going to do a dry run, which means put your pieces on with no adhesive first. Make sure that everything's going to sit where you want it to sit. And when you say, yeah, that looks good, then you can glue things down. And this is where you're going to want to be careful. that things, you're going to eyeball it so that it's going straight across, so it's not toggled goofy, right? So I'm going to add this middle piece first, since I have it all ready to go. And then I'm going to do the little white strips after that. And on mine, I added some little details, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's move that little guy out of the way. And now I'm just looking at the top. I'm not looking at the two white pieces because they're my guide to put this in the center. But the top of the camera and the bottom line of the camera is what I'm looking at to make sure that this goes on straight. In between those two, but lined up with the other ones. That looks pretty close to me. And then for the other two, I'm going to use wet adhesive. This would be a super thing to add to a scrapbook page. Hadassah, I love that idea. Thanks for mentioning it. Absolutely. And then go ahead and put these guys on and use your middle piece to make sure that they look like they're on straight. Again, like I always say, this is a handmade card, so there's going to be a little imperfections, and everyone expects that. And truly, people that don't actually make handmade cards, that get one from you, will never notice. Only we do. We're a little bit skeptical of ourselves, I think. Put some little hearts in the comment section if you guys are doing hashtag comment kindness. I'd love to see how many people are going to take that on. So your challenge is to do one kind comment, and not just to YouTube creators, but to people around you, people that you work with, people that you might not even think to say anything positive to. Just say, hey, you know, when you did that yesterday, that really affected me in a positive way, and I want you to know that. And go on over to my other video and watch that if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about it. If you want to know what my all-time #1 favorite comment is in the whole world, go on over there because I share it with you guys. So there we go. We've got that part done. And so I added a little bit of decorative just by putting little black lines down there. And so before we get this part on, I want you, if you want to put black lines on yours to make those pop a little bit more, do it now. I'm looking for my darker one, my thicker one. There. Do these now before you add on the other pieces, because otherwise you'll be trying to draw these on. Ask me how I know. You'll be trying to draw these on after those pieces are on. You'll have to go underneath the circles. Not sure why I know that. Oh, awesome. Look at all the hearts. You guys rock. I wanted to put that on my comment kindness campaign title, that my subscribers are the best, but I felt that sounded kind of braggy, even though you guys are the best. You are the best. That looks cool. I really like the black line. It makes everything pop out more. You don't need it though. And these lines, these could be silver. Like that would be super cool if you made those like silver, and you made like this silver, and like we could get into that. We could really do that kind of stuff if we have more time. Let's get everything glued on first, and then if we have time, let's just add some of that stuff if I can. Is it raining? You guys want to know how much, every time it rains I think of German, the German language, because not that I'm good at it or that I've ever really learned much of it, but do you know what I remember the most about my German classes? Is this darn little poem that they made us memorize about it being raining. And it goes, Es regnet, es regnet. Es regnet, es regnet, die Erde wird nass. Es blühen die Blumen und grün wird das Gras. Es regnet, es regnet, es regnet seinen Lauf. Dann hört's genug geregnet hat, dann hört's auch wieder auf. Now, I don't even know if I said that correctly, but that's what I remember. Like, is that going to help me if I go somewhere and I need to know where the bathroom is or how much something costs? No, but I'll be able to recite a really nice poem about the rain. You poor German speaking folk. I probably totally butchered it. Ooh, it's pouring now. You guys could probably hear that. Let it rain. So these little white, oop, I'm a little bit too far in here. The rain, I got all excited about the rain. I don't know why, because it's been raining for days, weeks. I hope we don't get kicked off of here either, because Windows 10 is just spazzing out this week. I don't know what the deal is. If you guys were here for Christmas in July, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the little white things, those are the picture frames where the little pictures are going to go. I'll pop that out so you can see. They're just going to get put on there however and wherever you want. Now these ones I spread way out. See that? And those ones I put kind of close together. It doesn't matter where you put it. If you follow the template exactly, you're going to want to cut to make this little pull tab here. Okay? And so I'm pretty sure that how I made that happen was I used the camera again. I put the camera at the top. You can't really see that. Let me put a little piece of white underneath it. Okay? There's my black. I put the camera at the top here. Bigger piece of white, please, Jen, you goof nut. Okay, there we go. Put the camera flash at the top of your slider. Get it in the middle. And then just trace these two pieces, and that makes you a tab. Ta-da! I didn't give the whole thing away by giving you the template, did I? I'm making you work for it. Work it, girl and guy. I know some people get upset when I use the word guys as a general talking to everybody, which makes me kind of switch over to saying girls or ladies, which is wrong because crafters are both genders. And there we go. We've got that tab on there. I'll move that back out of the way. So now you can see where that tab's going to be. We can now put our little squares on wherever we want. You guys will decide that. Where do you want your squares to be? And I'm going to use wet adhesive in case I make a mistake so I can move them around a little bit. Hi, Joan. And I'm just using the edges of the paper to make sure that it's pretty well squared up. I look in between here to see how close I'm at, so that when I put down the next piece, I can put that about the same width apart. So it's a lot of eyeballing, and if you're new to crafting or paper crafting or card making, thanks, Kelly. Yes, there's tons of possibilities. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. If you're new, then this might be maybe a little bit more difficult for you. So maybe you want to, once you get them in a good place, you might want to trace them so you know exactly where to put them down. That's totally up to you. Hi, Cindy. Okay, we're going to now start adding details. Right after we get this put together, I want to get this on the card. We're about halfway through with our time. Okay, so this is going to go on our card. I tilted mine a little bit, and this is going to slide underneath like this. Now, I'm going to slide underneath, but I'm going to look on the back. You don't want this to go all the way to the edge, okay? You want it to go maybe almost to the edge, and decide where you want that to be sliding out at. I mean, if you look at it and you want it to be sliding out crossways or whatever, I want mine to be going, you know, pretty much vertical. So if you're going for vertical just like I am, you're going to flip your camera over, line that up pretty well, and this is where we're going to put our double-sided foam. This can be tricky sometimes. You want a stopper at the end so that it can't go any farther than that. And then you want a little bit on either side so that it has a way something to follow, like a guide to go in and out of the card. So I'm gonna kind of measure how long that is, cut off a piece, and then I'm going to, you guys can call Rod, that's, I just said hi to her too. What's wrong with my brain? That's Cindy, right? What's wrong with me? Anyway, I'm gonna hold this kind of vertical, making sure that it, or horizontal to make sure that it's there, and then put this, don't snug it so close up to the paper that it's just gonna get stuck in there. Okay, leave just a little bit of room, so that it's not gonna be, you're not gonna stick it down. You know, you want just a tiny bit of room to toggle. Let me bring that up just a little bit, okay? There's like a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch of room where this can go up and down so that it can move in and out of there pretty freely. You're going to want that. So then once you have it on there, that you can decide like where do you want it on the card. This is my point that I mentioned before earlier, and I got my card upside down. If you don't want this hanging off the edge of your card, okay, before you do your tag and everything, you're just going to want to cut some of that off. So go ahead and do that. So now that we know that that's going to work, we've got that down, we can decide how do we want our camera to be on there. Now if you put it right in the middle, remember, that's going to hang off the card even more. So what I did was I just put mine kind of at an angle. I didn't really care if mine went off the edge of the card. So that's totally up to you. Then just take off the sticky back and put it down on the card wherever you want it to go. Right, and then try it out. Put that in the end and slide it in. Okay, now we're going to finish off the camera by putting these guys on. And you can put these wherever you want. Like the camera, you know what I mean? That could be anywhere. I just decided that under the flash, like right there, was where I liked it to be. And I popped up both of these. You can pop up one or not pop up any, depending on how you know, because this is going to be 3 layers now going into the mail. Just an FYI. But I really like dimension on my cards, so I'm going for the whole thing. I'm just going to go for it. How do you like that? Just go nuts. Hello, Pammy. Ah, Carol, I need to have someone make and send me this card since I love camera and taking pictures. There we go. I'm going to put some on here. I got a piece left, so I'm just going to use that piece right in the middle. And like I said, you can make these any color. We could even make them silver. We've got a little bit of time left, so I was going to make those strips silver, but I already covered it up, so I'm not going to do that today. I'm not feeling all that adventurous today. But we're going to add a little bit more detail now. So I've got this little shine mark here, and all I did was draw that on with my gel pen. I start with a line, and then I make a curved triangle, and I reach till I get the points together, and then I just fill it in. So that's the only trick I really have to how that looks. If you want, if you don't have a white gel pen, you can get one at my store. Or if you really don't want to buy a white gel pen, or you don't like them for some reason, you can cut a piece of paper, a white piece of paper, and do the same thing. Okay, and then another detail we're going to add is this part right up here on the flash. You can see it when I move it around. It's got Stardust stickles on there. So I'm going to grab my Stardust and put a little bit of stickles on there. Cool. And then the card is done. No, I'm kidding, it's not done. But wait, there's more. We're going to add this little banner right here. And that's going to completely depend on what stamp set you have and all that kind of stuff. But and the pull tab. Do you see the little pull tab? So these two sentiments came, or the word and the sentiment came from MAYMAY Made It stamps that I've been using. Totally love her stamps. Highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. This one is super cool. It's called Action. And it's got all these little action words. Lift, shake, bottom, lift from down here. You can put them all together. Push, pull, out, in, blah, blah, blah. And I just used the little word pull. And I didn't keep this out because these are really tiny. So once you're done using them, I recommend putting them back on the sheet right away so you don't lose any of them. Because they're really little. And I'm going to, there we go, use a little tiny color box white pigment ink. I don't have to. I can use Versamark. It doesn't matter. Actually, I think I will because I don't think I listed this. Versamark is just awesome. I have a little teeny tiny Versamark. Bet you probably haven't seen that one in a while. And we're going to use the Versamark because we're going to emboss this so that it really stands out. Oh, and I just made my stickles go all over the place. Hold on a second. Should have done that last. Do the stickles last, guys. Don't do like me. I'm usually alone in my own craft room, not really talking to people, so it never really made that much of a difference. But, you know, if you're doing your project, that would be a good idea. I'll add the stickles back on later, no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and put that pull on. And you should be able to sort of see that. Yeah, you can see that. And we're going to emboss that in white so it really stands out. You can stamp it in white. White ink takes a long time to dry, and that's why I decided I was going to do this. Emboss it in the white. And I just give a little blow with my mouth. I go, just because there might be a couple of teeny tiny dots of it that are runaway that you don't want there. And that's all it takes. Then we've got the pull on there. So we'll put that back in there. And then, yeah, I got most of the stickles off there. I think I'll just, I'm going to put my pull away because I don't want to lose that. It's tiny. And I really love this set, so I'd be sad if there was one missing. The one I always use. I think it's time to turn the air on. It's getting hot in here. And then the other one is MAYMAY's Oh Snap. And this one is super cool. And we're going to use this one at the top that says, take a picture, it'll last longer. Do you remember saying that growing up? Take a picture, it'll last longer. That doesn't really go along with hashtag comment kindness, now does it? Oh, my apologies. So let's find, here we go, that'll work. And I just did this on a piece of white paper. Let me pull this card in. Ooh. I'm going to put those back on so they get a chance to dry. Even though I stuck my whole hand in and smeared it all over my card. Real crafting's what you get here, folks. Real life crafting where we burn ourselves with the glue gun and we get stickles everywhere. Because what fun would it be if we were always perfect? Boring. There. Second time's charm. Now we're going to do that sentiment. So I'm going to pull back in my white piece of paper. What did I do with the rest of that white paper? I got rid of it. Oh, we'll get some more. Never fear. I've got tons of stuff everywhere. No problemo. This one I did not emboss. I just stamped it in Versafine ink. Don't get confused between Versafine and Versamark. Okay. Versafine is a black ink. Versamark is a clear ink. And I always grab that one. I have two Versamarks. I have a Dazzle and a regular. The regular is just a clear. That's Versamark. We're using Versafine, which is black. And we're going to stamp this sentiment. Here's a tip if you're stamping sentiments and you don't want to waste paper and you want to make sure that you can cut this out. Don't just stamp it down in the middle of a piece of paper, okay? Stamp it down in a corner and line it up. Leave room at the end for the fishtail if you want that part of it on there. And follow the bottom part of your paper and line it up so that when you go to cut that off, it's going to be so much easier than trying to cut a straight line from a stamp that's in the middle of a piece of paper. And then I'm just taking a baby wipe and wiping that ink off. Okay. I really thought my other tool was down here. What is? It's just hiding a little bit. Okay, let's move that one out of the way. So now we can go ahead and just put that in our trimmer and trim it straight down, and then we've got that right exactly where we want it. The end we want to do fishtail, and so we're just going to cut right down the middle. And then we're going to take one corner to the middle and then the other corner to the middle. Okay. And then you can put this on the bottom or the top. Mine's going to fit better at the top. Actually, mine's a little wide. I might have to change that. Yep, I put my camera a little bit higher. That's okay. I think that I'm going to put it on here anyways. See if I can put it on maybe sideways here. I should have remembered to do that. I always do my sentiments last. They're just not the thing that I think of right away. I think what I'm going to do is just cut a little bit off. And then I'm going to trim it a little bit. I'm going to eyeball mine just because I want it a little bit thinner. I'm going to go ahead and cut the bottom. And then I'm going to cut a little piece from the top. You guys might not even have to do this part. But I want it to fit on this card, so we can just make adjustments as we go. Oh, and that'll work if I move it out just a little bit more. Okay, and then I added a little bit of stitching with my teeny tiny marker on this one. So that's completely up to you. If you don't like the stitching, you don't have to add it. I just really like the look of it. Kind of addicted to it right now. And then I'm going to put a little bit of wet glue on there so I can wiggle that around a little bit to get that on the card where I want it. Bring it back out here. Watch the glitter glue. Oh, and you know what? I could make it even, I can tilt it. It'll be hanging off the card just a little bit, but I don't mind. I'm going to tilt mine just like that. And then I'm going to cut off just this other side here. Just this little piece that hung over. There we go. Because I'm already going to have this piece hanging off the side too. So my card went beyond its bounds. I don't mind that though. Put my pin back in my glue. Should always do that because these pins are really easy to lose. And that, my friends, finishes the card, I believe. Oh, the only thing that I didn't do on this card that I did on the other card is, and on the inside of this pull tab, I put this place photo here. That came in the same stamp set here, right here on the bottom, the action stamp set. If you're looking for that. So let's just stamp a couple of those since we've got extra time here. We're almost to the end. We might end up just 5 minutes early or so. So go ahead and Versafine ink this up. Now I'm not going to do the one that sticks out because that would look kind of funny sticking out. That's just my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this. It fits right in this 1 inch by 1 inch square. Just love it. And if you've already got photos that are tiny, or you already have something that you want to put in there, then by all means do that. I just think this is really cute with the little place photo here thing, so that my friend can, you know, whoever gets it could fill in their own photos. Or take some funny little photos from the internet and cut them down and put it on there. That'd be really super fun. Be really cute. So that needs a little bit of time to dry. I'm not going to shove it in there because I don't want it to smear. But that finishes the card. There we go. That would be it. Thanks, Judy. I hope you guys enjoyed this card, and I really do hope that you will also join in the hashtag comment kindness, not just for my sake, but for your own, in your personal lives, in your work, your jobs, and maybe even your families. We tend not to tell people expressively all the time what they mean to us, especially when they're the ones that are really close to us. So go ahead and hashtag kindness, comment kindness. Go back and watch my video on commenting kindness. And check out our blog, because there's a blog post on comment kindness, and there's also a blog post on the new challenges that just opened up, and they go monthly. You have this whole month of July to enter that challenge, but you must have a blog to enter because you need the blog URL and stuff to put into Mr. Linky so that it will show the thumbnail that you entered. And I can't wait to see those entries coming in, because right now there's just this sad little fake icon of a little person sitting there saying, "You're first." Who wants to be first? I hope somebody in my group will definitely want to be first. Join me over on Patreon if you want to be one of those people that we celebrate in the videos on this list, who help me make it possible to do these videos for you guys all the time. And I also want to finish up here by adding in that you can buy the adhesives and things, some of the stuff that I use, and find the templates and all that good stuff at my store, qualitycrafts.com. And here's the community quotes for the week. One by Cassie Braun Williams. She says, "After seeing Deborah's pick of the napkin fold card, I had to give it a try. I watched 3 videos, and I have to tell you that you can save yourself some time and just go to Jen's. I found hers last, and it was definitely the clearest and easiest to follow." Thank you so much, Cassie Braun Williams. And the next one is from Aleene Floria. "Super nice toot, inspiring and challenging. Thank you." So thanks, Aleene, for sharing your comment. I love sharing the community quotes. I hope that if you guys enjoy that, you'll give me a big thumbs up on the way out from watching this video. You can find all of the supplies listed below in the description box as well. Hashtag comment kindness, and I can't wait to see all of you guys next video.